Shall we get some refreshments? Perhaps something strong?
But I want to be out with my husband showing him off, not in bed. And it flattens my hair.
When it comes to Bridgerton Season 4, there are so many questions to dive into. Like, who's going to be the main star this time around? Because it's definitely more complicated now. Or why does Eloise Bridgerton deserve way better than her book husband in the show? But honestly, one of the biggest things on my mind is how Bridgerton kinda messed up a key villain after all the changes in Season 3, and I really hope Season 4 fixes it. But no worries, we're going to tackle all these questions Season 3 left us hanging with, and maybe throw in a few more along the way. So, let's dig into it. Let's start with the most obvious info you may or may not know. Unlike other shows that leave their fans hanging for months wondering if they'll get another season, Netflix didn't waste time with Bridgerton. After Season 2's success, they quickly renewed it for both Seasons 3 and 4 at the same time. Now, while nothing's confirmed beyond Season 4, it's pretty likely we'll get more of the Regency drama in the future. With Season 3 still making waves, Season 4 has already grabbed the spotlight with the news that Benedict will be the focus this time. This means the upcoming season will probably adapt Quinn's An Offer from a Gentleman, the third book in the series. Now let's dive into what we know about who's going to take the lead. This time, it's definitely more complicated. By the end of Season 3, the three eldest Bridgerton siblings, Benedict, Eloise, and Francesca, are all headed in new directions, but the show hasn't confirmed which of them will be the star. Theories are flying around, with most thinking it'll be either Benedict, Eloise, or Francesca. If the show follows Julia Quinn's books, Benedict should have had the spotlight in Season 3, making him a strong contender for Season 4. But then, Eloise's story is supposed to come after Colin's, and Francesca had a surprising amount of screen time in Season 3, so it really could go either way. The ending of Season 3 gave us a few hints about what's next. Francesca's story seems to be heating up. She just got married to John and is heading off to Scotland with him and his cousin Michaela. Eloise also makes a surprising move by deciding to tag along with Francesca, eager to see more of the world. Meanwhile, Benedict's future is still up in the air, but the finale hinted that something exciting might be coming his way. So, who's it going to be in Season 4? It looks like Francesca or Benedict are the most likely candidates. Francesca's story is already in full swing after meeting and marrying John Kilmartin, and now they're off to live at his estate in Scotland. This sets up her romance perfectly, especially since, in the book, When He Was Wicked, her marriage to John ends tragically when he dies, leading to her true love story with Michael. But Benedict could also still be the frontrunner. In the finale, he hints that his next big life lesson could completely change him, which feels like a setup for his love story. Plus, he mentions Lady Bridgerton's masquerade ball, where he's supposed to meet his future wife Sophie, according to the book, An Offer from a Gentleman. Benedict's already been pushed aside once when Colin took center stage in Season 3, so it would be a shame if he got passed over again in favor of Francesca. Benedict really needs some direction in his life, and Season 4 feels like the perfect time for him to finally get it. His character has been a bit lost lately, and although the Lady Arnold and Paul storyline was fun, Benedict deserves a bigger arc. Plus, while Francesca's story is intriguing, she's still a bit of a mystery to viewers since she wasn't around much in the earlier seasons. Throwing her into the spotlight right away could feel a bit sudden, especially since she was recast in Season 3. So if Benedict gets his time to shine in Season 4, we'd get a chance to get to know Francesca better in the background, building up to her eventual starring role. And who knows, there's even a chance for a Bridgerton spin-off focusing on Eloise and Francesca's adventures in Scotland. This could explore Eloise's journey of self-discovery and Francesca's complicated relationships with John and Michaela, setting the stage for her big season down the road. Even though a spin-off seems like a long shot, Season 4 will probably find a way to keep us updated on the sisters' adventures in Scotland. Whether Francesca ends up being the star or not, anything's possible in the world of Bridgerton. That being said, Bridgerton betrayed a key villain in Season 3, and I really hope Season 4 puts it right. The adaptation of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton introduced several changes, and one of the most significant involved the character of Cressida Cowper. In the books, Cressida is a clear-cut villain, known for relentlessly bullying Penelope Featherington. However, in Season 3, the show gave Cressida a more complex and sympathetic backstory, yet still left her hanging by the end. Cressida's role in Season 3 was much more nuanced than her book counterpart. Her budding friendship with Eloise Bridgerton, sparked by Cressida's vulnerability after being shamed by Lady Whistledown, added depth to her character. Instead of being the one-dimensional bully, Season 3 showed Cressida struggling with societal pressure, a controlling father, and the looming threat of being forced into marriage. Her attempts to blackmail Penelope were born out of desperation, a stark contrast to the purely malicious character we see in the books. However, despite all this groundwork, Bridgerton Season 3 abandoned Cressida by the end. After everything she went through, being forsaken by Eloise, ignored by her own family, and cast aside by society, she was shipped off to the countryside, essentially leaving her story unresolved. This was a betrayal of the character development the season had carefully laid out. Unlike the book, where Cressida's villainy was more straightforward, the show made her motivations understandable, making her sudden disappearance all the more disappointing. Season 4 has the perfect opportunity to correct this. By bringing Cressida back and allowing her a redemption arc, the show can explore themes of forgiveness, personal growth, and the harsh realities women faced in the marriage market. A reconciliation with Eloise or Penelope could bring her story full circle, making her more than just a villain. Lastly, we need to discuss why Eloise deserves way better than her book husband in the show. While Season 4 may focus on Benedict, Eloise's own season will arrive eventually, and it could be a huge disappointment if it follows her book storyline too closely. In the books, Eloise marries Sir Philip Crane, but this relationship feels like a mismatch for the strong-willed, independent character we've grown to love on screen. In the books, Sir Philip marries Marina after his brother George dies. Their marriage is far from happy, and Marina's tragic storyline, culminating in her death, leaves Philip in a dark, emotional state. Eloise and Philip's romance begins after her letters of condolence turn into correspondence, which eventually leads to their marriage. While this might work on paper, it's hard to see it translating well into the show, which has maintained a lighter, more hopeful tone despite its occasional darker subplots. Marina's tragic story, which Bridgerton has already touched on, would be difficult to revisit without weighing down Eloise's season. Eloise deserves a romance that reflects her independence and wit, not one based on pity or consolation. The chemistry between her and Theo Sharp, the printer's assistant she connected with in Season 2, offered a refreshing alternative. Theo understands and respects Eloise's intellect and values, and their shared passion for knowledge and social justice gives them a strong foundation for a meaningful relationship. Alternatively, a new romance set in Scotland, where Eloise traveled at the end of Season 3, could introduce a fresh character who matches her fiery spirit. This would offer a storyline full of adventure and the opportunity for Eloise to explore love on her terms rather than being shoehorned into a book-based relationship that doesn't align with the show's portrayal of her. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. What do you think about Cressida's storyline in Bridgerton? Should she get a redemption arc in Season 4, or has her character gone too far? Let me know your thoughts.